Today, we bring you a tour of some of the most feared bugs on the planet, not only because of their appearance, but also because of the devastating effects they can have on humans. First, let's talk about Africanized bees, also known as killer bees. These aren't your average bees. They're much more aggressive and lethal. Though they originate from Africa, they have colonized much of the Americas, and when they feel threatened, they attack in large swarms, making them a real danger to people. Sandflies are next. No, they're not mosquitoes. These tiny flies are about a quarter of the size of a mosquito and breed in waste rather than water. Despite their size, they can transmit leishmaniasis, a disease that can severely affect the skin, mucous membranes, and internal organs. You can find them in tropical, subtropical, and Mediterranean regions, where they thrive in dense vegetation or dry areas. Have you heard of the kissing bug or venchuca? This insect, common in the US and Latin America, is responsible for transmitting Chagas disease. Scientists believe there are at least 300,000 cases of Chagas in the US, with potentially over 1 million unreported cases. Although its bite may seem harmless, the consequences can be very serious. It's estimated that at least 50% of these bugs carry the disease. Interestingly, they don't transmit the disease through their bite. Instead, it's in the feces stuck to their legs. And when people scratch the bite, the bug's body waste enters the skin. Let's not forget the feared bulldog ant. From Australia, one of the most aggressive ants in the world, these massive ants can measure up to 1 inch in length and are armed with powerful jaws and a stinger filled with formic acid. Their sting is painful, and although they aren't the deadliest species, their jaws latch onto your skin and are extremely difficult to shake off. They attack in swarms and without warning, so if you accidentally disturb them, they can cover you in seconds. Found all over Australia, even in parks and people's yards, these warriors are definitely not the kind of ant you want to encounter. Next up is an insect that seems straight out of a horror movie. The Asian giant hornet, also known as the murder hornet. This giant from Asia can grow up to 5 centimeters long, and not only has a brutal sting, but can also wipe out entire colonies of bees in a matter of hours. In Japan, these hornets cause around 20 deaths per year due to their highly toxic stings. In one incident in 2016, 42 people died, and 1,600 were injured. Although they don't usually attack, when they do, there's no stopping them. We can't overlook the flea ant, particularly the Xenophila chepis, infamous for being the culprit behind the transmission of bubonic plague, the same plague that devastated Europe during the Middle Ages. Although the plague is now under control, these fleas remain a threat, especially in urban and rural areas with high rodent populations. But if you thought that wasn't enough, wait until you meet the zeze fly. Found in sub-Saharan Africa, this fly has the most terrifying arsenal. It transmits sleeping sickness, which affects humans and animals. And no, it's not a relaxing sleep. It can be fatal if left untreated. A painful bump or sore may form at the bite site, followed by fever, chills, headaches, then drowsiness, trouble walking, and, if untreated, coma and death. Finally, let's talk about the mosquito, that tiny enemy you can find just about anywhere. And although they may seem insignificant, mosquitoes are responsible for spreading deadly diseases like malaria, dengue, Zika, and yellow fever. Shockingly, the mosquito is considered the deadliest animal in the world, affecting over 700 million people each year and causing around 1 million deaths. These little creatures thrive in tropical and subtropical areas and prefer stagnant water to lay their eggs. So, that little puddle in your yard, it's their favorite place to breed. Fearful, so next time you find yourself in nature or even in the comfort of your home, remember, it's not always the biggest animals you have to fear. Sometimes it's the smallest ones that pose the greatest danger. Don't forget to hit that like button, share with your friends, and subscribe to stay updated.